increments marked off. Rest up against the magnet. Put my measuring stick against it. I'm taking that as the back edge. I suppose I should be measuring these, marking these with a arrow forwards. I'm sure I'll remember what it is. Don't need that. Cut those in. Furthest one. Make sure it's all still in line. So these don't have to be mega accurate, just approximately 5 centimetres apart within a reasonable accuracy. And more or less in line, hence like this. And they look pretty good. Where's that one gone? I can't see that block anymore. It disappeared. So this is just to stop me having to loads of stuff. Next one in. Mark it in the front. So I believe these are 25mm bars, which, well, impossible to measure at 13.5 centimetres, but 25.4 is an inch. So, to find the centre of the bars, scribe, inch ruler, instead of a half-inch ruler. What do you do with that? Put the glasses off so you can see better. The light is coming and going at the moment, it's getting pretty bad, so I'll go up to a 4-inch scale there, which brings it into 8 instead of whatever they are, hundredths. Impossible to read in dark conditions. So in them in a precise half, there we go, these are actually tenths. So that's approximately halfway. This is as accurate as this is going to get. It's going to be within 5 thou. Unless of course I do that. The order of operations so far have been going like this. Small drilling everything. Now moved up to the size which fits the pins. Sorry, I moved up to 8mm, sorry. And I drilled all those at 8mm and all those at 8mm, 8.4mm. And at 8.4mm, 8mm thread bolt goes through, and we tried it anyway, it does. Then I've moved up to this, which is 10.4mm approximately. It's a imperial size drill. It's just one I got with a set of drills I got off of eBay. There's my camera stand. Way better than it was before. Just I need a new screw because it's still a little bit bodgy there, but not to worry. And I've got a little lamp on the drill press helping me out, and that's the imperial size drill. It's a Morse taper 1 into a Morse taper 2 adapter, And then once I've done all those holes, finishing them off into that, then I'm going to stick that drill bit in, and that is the perfect size for the 16 mils. It's 5/8, it's next size up from 5/8, it's over 16 mil, and that drills the holes for the, as you can see there. And I've marked them out so I can put the feet right at the edge. I've got the nuts out here somewhere, and I'll weld them on. I've got the MIG out, I'll just MIG them on. Did last time, and then this table is nearing completion. I've got a mill from that hole to that hole, 200 mil long. Then weld this short 40 mil section onto them, on either side. Obviously closer towards the end. Like that. And either drill the ends or, like the plans asked for, weld on the circular bits at the end of the two shafts. That's what I'm working from. There we go. I've got a soft piece of aluminium so when that happens it doesn't damage the end of the tip down the floor there. It's a catch pan as well. Tin, aluminium, whatever. I need to get that in. Let's get the chips off of it first. This one got turned by its end, not by me. I've got this second hand off of eBay. Speed cut, FB tools. Oh, yeah, sometimes it helps if you take out the hooge in the top. I like to have a piece of wood to stick it in with. Stick it in my wide wire in a second, because that'll just crack that one. There, in. Well, that was the next operation. That's easier. Slow it down a bit. We're 240, it's the slowest this drill goes. going to weld the nuts on, so a bit of deburring, clamp them on, weld. I think that is it for today. Weld it, job done. Got a bit of big deburring tool. Put some tools back inside. So I'm trying out my new DTI gauge. I'll try and get you over it. Don't think it's going to work. Oh, okay. So I'm trying out my new DTI gauge. This is the setup. We can bring it down to 0. Or I can adjust it out or in. So half thou indicator. Now I've got an angle iron here bolted or clamped to the milling attachment, and I've got a tool bit resting on top of it to make that the most parallel surface I've got. I could put a parallel on it. And we're at 0. And this is 5 inches of travel. That's half a thou. Three-quarters of a thou. Need to be focusing on this. There we go. Well, I'll go back the other way because I need it the other way anyway. So that's at 1.5 nearly. Hasn't even moved yet. I don't know if it's touching. This is what I was getting before, by the way. There we go, it's moved now. That's moved half a thousandth. It just moves at the end there a little bit. Coming back. Anyway, I want it that side anyway to start off with, I believe. Right. So I'm going to try to let this fall off onto the ways. I'm going to have to clean the lathe up first. Bring this in here. Then I will slide these as far back as I can. As you can see, they're on-ish. I think I will put a clamp here, clamping them here, and also a clamp at the end, clamping them there. Yeah, you explain that one to me. So at the start of the cut here, it dropped down. I was cycling backwards and forwards because it's not a plunging end mill, just to try and get down to the 6mm I needed to be, 5mm I needed to be at to go all the way through. So I went all the way through to 6mm, and for some reason it's pulled up, but it's parallel because I don't know what's happened. So we've gone through successfully. I've just got the chips out of the way. Now I'm going to come back the other side, because what it's doing is, as it's cutting in that direction, it's cutting across the bottom, and the steadier I make it, the steadier I make the cut, the steadier it is. You'll see there's some really nice bits up here when I've kept the pressure on all the time, and here it's a bit crap. So now I'm going to come back. It makes a bit of a noise. And it clears the top up. Okay. So here are the two efforts so far. This was the first one I did, and what I did with this one was I started off here, went backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, and plunged in. And then I did this section first, and then did some funky crap down here, and then did this section afterwards. The coach bolt goes in, it doesn't turn. Even in the loose bit, it's fine. I'll be able to tighten the nut up. It's got a slightly tight bit there, but it goes all the way through. Should work. Second one I did, it's not perfect. I'm just going to file it out a little bit. I don't know if we can see that. I should probably file it, so take some of these high spots away from the low. And same here, give it a bit of a file in here, just to straighten it out a bit. And I ain't bothered about the bit at the top there, just file it a bit at the end there. But that's what that one looks like. Now, the astute of you will see a slight difference on this one. I haven't tried the bolting it yet. It goes in. And it goes all the way down. A lot smoother. But I have a step. There's a step in it here, which I've got to get rid of. I was going to lift it up a little bit, I don't know yet. So when I move it across, I think it got... Anyway, the astute of you would have seen the difference between the two. Let's just drop it everywhere, eh? Great idea, great plan. I'll do it again, shall we? So, as I was saying, the astute of you will have seen what's happened here. First, no, that's it, that's the way I did it. I don't know if you can see it there. There we go. So the first one, when I plunged in, it was a bit high, but obviously when I went down it, I didn't realise the milling cutter gets dragged down a little bit as it goes through, and then as you come back, it cleans up the top. So the second one, which is the bottom one there, as you can see, cleans up to the top of the hole and doesn't quite take out the bottom. I raised it up 0.75 of a millimetre. Oh, I don't know what happened anyway. Oh, good grief. Tonight I have decided to go all out. I can't fit another one on to the shelf here, but I can do 4 together. And unfortunately I can't run the chuck there because I might be able to run it there. We shall see if I can run it there or not, although when it comes in it's going to be out of frame, and as you can see everything moves. Well, anyway, we'll try. There we go. I think that is as best as I can get it. So here we go. Everything is clear again. Start it up. Here we go. Here comes the noise. That's the touch. 0. I'm locking the carriage off. You can't quite see it, but I'm locking the carriage off now. I'll put a bit of oil in there. This could splat over you all. Let's put some oil in there. And across the front of the cut. Here we go. A little bit too much on the chatter side. I'll get one more blast. Oh, it's dug up. Bugger. That's done that then. Oh well, I knew something was going to happen. The chuck's come out of the chuck, and it's probably broken the bit in as well. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. That's what comes of pushing it too hard. Let's see what damage we've done then. Clearly me ER32 truck is now chowdered up on the outside. Pretty bad. Is it hot? No. And yeah, it's broken that bit. I don't believe it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh well. Not to worry. We're a bit of a yitsa moment then. Yitsa! We call it yitsa because the bloke I used to work with rebuilt an engine and he didn't put the necessary lubricant on the journals when he was rebuilding it. And when he started it, there was lack of lubrication to the camshaft and the camshaft locked up. And he went, Yitza! Right, let's see what it looks like on run out. Okay, it's not as good as what it once was. Clearly the end mill needs replacing because that is now well and truly caputto. Well, you know, I might have to lob the end off and resharpen it shorter. But the ER32 chuck does not sit so nicely in here no more. So it looks like now. Oh, that's better. Okay, so we don't have to do any modifications to the chuck. Fingers crossed. Just stick another end mill in and we'll be away again. Depth. Oh dear. Bodge. Trying to push it too hard. Bodge. Right, I'm going to give it a little bit more, see if I can break another end mill. That'll be good fun, won't it? Okay, after last night, I got the cut down to its fullest extent before I had to move it along. I've just jogged it along and cut about another inch, but I've now blunted this cutter. It's pretty blunt at the end there, it's still nice and sharp. So that's knackered, and what's happening is now, I don't know if you can see it down there, it's a bit hard to see, it is starting to pull the bit down again because it's blunt, and I guess what's going to happen is it's going to snap it again. Now, if this isn't too hot, this is the one that I snapped yesterday. I'll just ground it off. And this one's sharp, sharp, sharp. So I'm going to try this. Here we go. Here we go. Give it a quick try tonight, then I'm going to give up and have some tea and go to bed. But I think we'll just give this, turn on the DTI, I don't know if you can see me doing that, down in the corner here. That's at 0 now, so we'll run it up and then I'm just going to bring it in 20 odd millimeters, 20.75. You can see the hole I'm aiming for down the end there. The metal's getting quite warm. I'm feeding oil into the gaps and it's dripping through. Hopefully that's lubricating the end mill because I don't want to burn it up again, like, you know what I mean? I've already burnt 2 up. Let's try and get through now without burning any more end mills. Crossed. That's now halfway past that clamp now. Alright, let's see how straight the cut is. Let the edge of it here. I did the same on this side of it, just here, and then re-leveled it with a parallel on it. Seems to have done the trick. Yeah, that seems to have done the trick, indeed. So apart from the bodge, which is here, where I snapped the end mill, and apart from that there, I think I was going backwards and forwards a bit there before I started putting oil in, and from here onwards that's where I put oil in. From there, that's before the blade went blunt. I think that's when the blade went blunt. There's a couple of little marks there. I think it was doing really well up here, and then it went blunt. Then I started going with a new grounding cutter, and then I went backwards and forwards a bit, and I thought, start using oil, and then used oil for the rest of that. And I kiss that, and then I come back. Obviously, when you come back across it, it gets a really nice finish when you come back across it, and that is straight, I think. Yeah, the top is perfect, near enough. I mean, that is really good. Considering I'm just, half-assed for leather doing this, that is really good. It's not quite central, not really bothered, doesn't really need to be. No, it doesn't, no, it'll be fine as it is. I can compensate for that, it's just that one bodge here, I'm not happy about that, but there we go, let's see if the bolt spins in it. So this is the bolt, the coach bolt. Obviously we don't want it to turn because we want to be able to turn it and loosen it. Bring it down. I think it's going to turn in this one, definitely. I can't believe it doesn't spin in that. So even with that amazingly massive bodge there, I'm still going to be able to tighten it up. Yeah, and then it gets back in, all the way down, not a problem. All the way up, not a problem. Sweet. So after many hours and a few broken milling bits, this is what we end up with. Not bad. So I tried TIG welding again. That was a bad bit. That was better. It was a bit worse. That was better. I was basically melting this 6mm piece of metal into the other bit, and that was pretty good. And that was pretty good. And that was pretty crap. I could go over it again, but I'll leave it. Shows how bad I was when I first started doing it. Now I need some way of adjusting it, because holding the table up and then getting underneath and tightening these nuts up, that'd just be a complete joke. So I got a choice. I'm going to put a welding nut on here, or weld a nut on here, one or t'other, and then I'm going to weld a boss on here or here, opposite. So the idea will be it's free to move through the boss, but the nut's welded, so it has to push and pull the nut. On the boss side, there'll be sort of like two nuts either side of it, sort of arrangement. So look. And then a boss in the centre, which it will push and pull against. Probably some thrust washers, some nice brass thrust washers. Now, I've got all thread here. I could make it all out of all thread. Although I'm using this for the feet, for the other table, so I think we'll give that a miss. Plus, if I weld a steel nut on there and use a steel threaded bar, you don't know which one's going to win, the nut or the threaded bar. But if I weld a steel nut on there and use brass, then the nut will win and the brass will lose. So I got some brass rod. Now the idea with this is I'm going to thread it about 100 mil plus 2 widths of a nut, or a little bit more than that. And then I'm going to thread it a little bit further for a nut to sit on there, or for 2 more nuts to sit on there, so probably 4 widths of a nut further. I'm going to thread it. Then I'm going to leave a section where the boss can sit, where it can sit in the boss. And then I'm going to have a land which is slightly smaller than 16mm, probably 40mm land, about 20mm, 15mm long. And then I'm going to drill and tap the end of it for, let's say, 8x1.25 or 5/16 24. Then I'm going to Loctite a cap screw in the end of it with a brass washer, which is pinched onto the 14mm section. Nice thick washer, 15mm, 20mm washer, whatever, make that land size, which can press up against the boss on that side, and then the nuts on the other side with a brass washer there. So that would be like a basic thrust washer, which can force it forwards and backwards. That's what I'm planning to do. So I bought this brass, which wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too much more expensive than the 16mm old thread. So a metre of old thread delivered 10 quid. I'm sure I could pick it up cheaper if I went to the place and picked it up. And that brass works out at around about £11 a metre, £12 a metre, something like that. So that's what's happening there. That's all.